Father, who art in hell, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in hell. Give us this day our day to sin, and allow us to trespass upon others, as others trespass upon us. In your name, let it be done.
Hello, friends and enemies of YouTube, children of the metaverse, the offended, the offensive, the digitally addicted, and those who dare come this far. On yesterday, being the 13th day of my new year, I offered a bit of a reprise, which was met with contempt, hostility, and intentional maliciousness of a very foul nature. So tonight, I'm going to do a complete Luciferian ceremony as this seat shared by the adversary, by my initiation as a high priest to the throne of Satan, the adversary, the witness to the folly of God. I gave my day of attrition, and it was met with such disdain that I did today carry through with what were once yesterday threats, today are manifesting into a reality in the prime material world. But as of this moment, we are dealing with a whole different realm, a whole nother world, and you get to be a part of it if you dare do so. You are, by being here, a willing participant. This is a religious expression, not a show of disdain or contempt or hate, but this is to bring retribution and balance and to bring a universal justice where none could be found. By the crook of the candle, may it deter and dissuade opposition towards my endeavor. by the crook of the candle, its sway, opposition to my endeavor. By the seal of El that brought me in to this reality, to the token that allows me into the temple as an honored priest. This sacrament is meant to be governed and arranged by the watchers of the four corners and pillars of the earth, those who allow that to come and go, and by the devourer of time itself in commemoration, Chronos. Let us not forget the black cube. I offer, first and foremost, the talon of the stifled fowl. I offer this as a token for all fallen students who had not the endurance to endeavor. I offer this talon for the stifled fowl. I offer this ring in spirit commemorem of my son, Joshua Termunde. And I offer this talon of the stifled fowl. We are going to be doing an elemental ritual, in case you're wondering, and a higher level of blood magic ritual that has intent, has purpose. For those who freely trespass and violate the natural order of law, may they be brought to naught. And as the talon of the stifled fowl, may all of their endeavors never leave the ground, but return as nothing more than mere grounded and flightless. Let us offer up, first and foremost, carbon, pure carbon, that which man returns to when Kronos devours you, as he did his children, the opposition. One for each individual of intent, and for those that follow. Don't worry, I will not take all night with this. Now, let us offer up the pure, and let us offer up the impure, universal, and eternal justice, in balance, in harmony. Uh, Let us take the parchment, and as we light the flame, I commit the four elements of the earth onto the sacrament, that none of them shall assist in the advancement or the furthering of the intended upon this fire. Let us offer up earth, that nothing they seed may bear harvest. Let us offer up water of pure nature, that all their endeavors be parched. Let us offer up fire, that it consumes all their endeavors. And let us offer air, that this may find its way to the intended. May we adorn the sacrament with the living blood, by my will bound with yours, May those who trample, tread, violate, or find themselves in a place of offensiveness by intent follow all who are intended into the fruitless endeavors of your own choosing. May the God of death bring himself upon you that you may understand appreciation for life. By thy will, let it be done. I want you guys to miss it. Otherwise, you won't have nothing to talk about, will you? Okay. They had fair warning. They had a choice. Now by intent, and by natural and universal law, may they suffer unto themselves.
Within sight of the Almighty, you speak blasphemy. Repent at once, child.
Good evening. I assume you all are amusing yourselves. I am absolutely, profoundly amazed that any of you had the endeavor to involve yourselves in such profane acts. But everybody needs a religion, a belief, a devotion, or maybe just a source in transit to draw from. For it is by the same intent of the malice heart that I bring forth the adversarial forces to bind evil with evil, to stifle evil with evil, and to pull that which stands against structured balance with an endeavored intent of purpose other than to violate, deceive, lie, bring themselves to the forefront as a representative of a purpose that they couldn't possibly understand. And now there is malevolence and retaliation, retribution, righteous evil. The link is out there. Not that I expect anyone to be empowered enough to join me. Dare think that any of you could be more than participantly voyeuristic spectators. I unleashed the prime material resistance, defense, and a fluctuation of energy that will now echo. It will not happen overnight, but I was able to get a hold of two parties that will assist me in this. They're reviewing a little over the last 14 days. Well, they don't have today yet, but they'll be reviewing over the last 13 days. And for all of the original offenders, that would be Illuminati, who could utter nothing in calling me a Satanist, which may be true, and my son a murderer to the point where I became numb. Snafu called me a demon, my son a murderer. until I became numb. For Stephen from the Sanity Machine, who called me a demon, my son a murderer, until my heart turned black. You are all now going to have to face the repercussions of your oral violations, because you were named, as well as JG, the hobo Unabomber. Wow. And as well as this is a peculiar one. This one right here even intrigues me, because I found the stream. It was given to me, and I gave him the links to his channel and his wonderful appearance on Bex Factor, wanting to put a bullet in my head. And I will put his links out here. I will not do such for other parties involved. They are no longer welcomed here, nor will I speak of it, lest idle mouths destroy today's endeavors and the further endeavors that I will persist upon and continue into. Inside, it was funny, huh? I was being mild, passive, making a point with a minor blood ritual so that you might understand what you do, be exposed for what you are. And you were. Pool's reviews. He's the one that threatened on Bex's. Put the bullet in my head. Hope it was worth saying. And Mister, I'm in Canada. I warned you. Don't touch the AI model. Leave it alone and go away. You're not welcomed here no more. You couldn't, could you? Before I even shut the stream down, you deleted the word model, just like I knew you would. Just as I was revealed, you would be here on the 13th. Just as I watched as you left my stream to start a stream, and you had two guests that you passed out on for several hours. laying there in your own ignorance and arrogance while your channel ran a app to simulate processing of central information from a computer hub. And I thought, wow, if anybody shows up and they watch this a time or two, they're going to realize that this is repeating and refreshing. A nice try while you passed out trying to look technically educated in a field that you have no business in. I warned you plainly. You couldn't resist. And then you got snubbed after you rose and woke and went to OTWs and you were made a joke. You have destroyed your credibility, your integrity, and hopefully those that have seen this has witnessed you violate not only trust, but I have over 13 days plus and many live streams of your perpetual and consistent deception, lies, intrusive, disruptive, and now, as of yesterday, it left the metaverse. Now the effects are out here in the real world. I don't have to leave my room. Not yet. Give them a couple of days to review. Give them a couple of days for the information to be able to be submitted over border. And by the end of 28 days, starting tomorrow is the last 2 weeks, you will see exactly how far I'm going to amp this up. And for all of you that stood by as spectators and observed this with no morality input, well, I added a little extra carbon into that sacrament for you. For those that stood by me, those individuals who did not hesitate to be a part of my endeavors, many blessings, and may all your endeavors be fruitful I'm sorry, Cage. You're not welcomed here no more. Show that icon again and I'll ban it. And for those of you who think you're going to run around the internet and preach the gospel of my endeavors, you may find yourself in the middle of a situation where you're actually interfering with an investigation and a legal action. But that's on you. So before you start opening your mouths and spreading your henhouse gossip, this is no longer just a metaversal thing. It started with a demand for me to remove an ordainment from my faith, a demand followed up with a threat, and then a violation of trust. So for all of you who think this is about a word model AI, you have gravely missed the point. You have been misdirected. For if you go back and you see the original event, Mr. Cage Delusional was demanding me promptly at that moment to remove my summoning circle from my floor and violate my religious and spiritual practices. That's where this started. So don't get your story twisted. The threat was a gift, which he later claimed was a test. Either way, I know which one I handed in today by timestamp. And I don't care if any of you fucking come here. It has nothing to do with you now. As far as I'm concerned, you are just willing participants feeding the energy to allow me to continue forth with a blood ritual. There was a reason I reinstated my priesthood to the Dark Throne yesterday. So I could double down in true conviction and with the blessing of the manifester, Saturn, the former giver of the golden age dawning, the hue of purple upon the earth, and to the seat and the throne of the Lord of this world, the adversary. We now share the throne. You didn't hurt me by taking your low blows and your cheap shots. You didn't bring me to sadness. Even after my son was gone, what you did by your nature turned my heart blacker than the blackest hell, darker than the pitchiest moonless night. And my intent as malice as a thorn on a rose bush. Not pity that I feel, not hurt, not regret. It is an ice cold numbness that has no emotion, only intent. You have now created one of the most vile, godless, heretic that serves the dark lord of death, who's kissed me on the head many a time as I was removed from death. Maybe it's for this moment right here. Maybe it's for this endeavor. I tried to be nice and passive about this, but still reveal the true nature of those who dare to offend, disrupt, deceive, those with no standing, stature, structure, or discipline. Now by all the damned and the disembodied that suffer and torment, that look to become the source of influence. May they find themselves through you. And may you find yourself pushed against the edge. And may your heart turn as black and cold as empty and unbound as mine. Maybe at that point, you will learn to keep your opinions, your ideals, fucking thing you have to say to yourself. Hello, Singularity.
Hello, Axis. How are you?
Quite well, thank you.
Likewise.
I hope you got to at least witness an actual Luciferian Saturnalian L ritual from a high priest to the throne of Satan, the adversary, the witness to the folly of God, the Creator. Or did you get here too late?
I just arrived here now, but I'll review that after.
Yeah.
I'll give it a review. Yeah, I've been listening in for a few minutes, so. Few minutes. You can continue on. I'm just here when you're done. We can carry this to wherever you want. So I'm just here. Just here, you know what I'm saying? I'm here.
And that is the best way for anyone to be here. There's nothing more than just the open mind, the broadness, and the willingness to share without
And that's what
intent to inflict your will or anyone else's will upon anyone until you've been violated, trespassed upon, deceived.
right. Axis, and I've had the ultimate realization. One has to become united and independent because betrayal is part of the system with undeveloped, not qualified beings. They're going to betray themselves. They're going to not have self-respect for themselves is betrayal anyways to themselves, and henceforth they're going to exhibit that on other people because that's what they regulate themselves by, right?
Well, they've done been revealed, but I had warned him, and you were a witness. Do not
Oh,
touch the AI
definitely.
model.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes.
He
Right.
came here with malicious intent. He violated not only ethical laws, terroristic threatening. Um, there were several other things, and I went ahead and endeavored even further.
Right, right. These are
But
babies.
it,
The actions what we're dealing with is babies. It's really,
I don't care.
insignificant, right?
They weren't
Exactly.
babies when they opened their fucking mouths and called my son a murderer and threatened me, were they?
Right. Well, that's still, sticks and stones, as this one movie said, sticks and stones, Jimmy, right? Because words will never
Have you
hurt
lost
me.
a son? Have you lost
I
a
have,
son?
I have not lost a son. No.
For over a year, I've been called a worthless father, a Satanist, and my son has been called nothing but a murderer. And I wasn't even able to grieve because I had been turned so numb and cold. Now is time for retribution and repercussion. Over a year, I endured this. And all I ask, don't touch the AI model. Even after his asinine behavior, which he's now responsible for. And you think I'm going to hold back on any of them? I told
Oh,
you.
I don't hold back.
I
I don't
was,
need to. Yeah, I don't hold back either. But I understand that what is perceived
they
might.
had fair warning. Do you slap rattlesnakes? Venomous
Definitely
ones?
not. Definitely not.
Then you think they should be excused for doing such without being
Nobody.
bit?
Well, nobody avoids getting bitten. If they, this is what I define. If somebody earns it, they get it. As simple as that. It is as simple as that, but also
Why
complicated
do
for one.
you think that I invoke the time eater, Kronos,
Right.
the
Take care of
consumer of
business.
opposition, the lord of time and death itself, consuming, all consuming, expediently? It is by the cycles of the heavenly bodies and the planets that things are measured here. I'm just accelerating the process so that when I reach the end of this, no one that bears guilt will be unscathed
That's the way it
here,
works.
spiritually, or in the prime material plane. Now I have to end this segment with a prayer, and then I will be right back with you.
Our Father, who art in hell, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in hell. Give us this day our day to sin, and allow us to trespass upon others, as others trespass upon us. In your name, let it be done.
Thank you, Singularity.
No worries. No worries.
I see that Cypher is down there.
Yeah.
When you lose something,
I've lost close associates too, but not a brother or sister.
I've
But
lost many associates, friends, loved ones, the son.
right, I can give you my perspective access. You know, somebody may call me cold, but I just call it unconditional acceptance, right? There's going to be
When you've
casualties. There's going to be
been
casualties.
browbeat for over a year by these insolent beings, absolutely not. There is
Right.
no longer justification for them.
But whether they realize it or not, it was them bleeding, not you. Unless
No, I'm not bleeding.
certain aspects
I
of.
am full of malice, contempt, numb, cold, and if I have a heart, It's black as pitch. Because I'm not an aspect utilizing Satanism now. I took up my title that I earned, my baptism in fire to the throne of the adversary, because all these people who claim that they have morality and that they worship or they're in touch with the creator or divine spirit, and they think that they're going to walk through this showing no morality. Your God feeds you to my God, and my God sets the throne of this earth, and above him, as he represents embodiment, the kiss of Kronos upon your mortal coil. I don't have to do a damn thing
Exactly. That's what people can't
except
comprehend.
invoke. Now, when I get off of this pathetic ass platform, I have a summonsing to do because I have lots of phone calls to make tomorrow, and I want to send out the proper energies and entities, make sure that my endeavors are completely fruitful.
So are you limited for time on the panel today?
No, not really.
Just making sure.
I mean,
I'll open.
as long as I do it by 3 o'clock in the morning,
Well,
I'm
it's
good.
lots of time. I don't think it's going to carry that long, but who knows what can transpire as some people come up here then. Different
I
subjects
don't think
arise.
anyone will dare come up here. Unless maybe it's Callie. She would be the only other one besides you that I could see that has the integrity to step up here. Because it was you, Callie, who has stuck beside me through this endeavor,
Right.
show
That's
after
what brought.
show, panel after panel.
Everything reveals itself, Axis, as you know, right? In due moments. I never take somebody on the first mask they represent. But the mask eventually falls off, and the true perceived character, the way they're regulating themselves, is exposed. Nobody can hide their mask. Their mask comes off sooner or later, the mask they're putting on, and then their true mask of who they truly are is identified.
So I never, even back in the days of We Are Awake, denied that I do both good and evil.
Oh, you didn't?
And I said I transcend between the two, and I am an omnius, an aspect of many different religions, philosophies, mystery schools, that now I have truly taken on fully the embodiment of the dark priest that I am, a servant to the throne of Satan, the accuser. I found that we had something in common.
Yes. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Or else
We
I
both
wouldn't be here.
detest religion, especially Abrahamic. We detest God's creation of man and his folly and fumbling. We detest being placed in submission, and we liberate ourselves by unbinding the chains that restrain us.
It's a process that maybe some shall go through. Eventually, everybody shall go through the refinements of the fire. It's like the way I perceive the system since my navigation, regulation, and travel revelation of accurate information is eventually everybody goes through the refinement of fire, the process, and eventually everybody shall give up false religion on their own accord, not forced by anybody when they are revealed the truth and become aware how deceptive all religions are. And that's the way it's going to be. Eventually, everybody
I
goes through what
will
is
share no truth with anyone or knowledge, but I will allow them to reveal themselves. And when they have crossed the threshold, then and at that point, they will know who I am. The most
right.
malevolent, hateful, black hearted piece of fucking hell with a relentless persistence.
When you say that, Axis, you do what I perceive myself to is the iris that's the luminary basic. There's two versions. There's a version of myself where I'm just sitting in my house chilling, most respectable person that can be to myself and others. But if somebody crosses the lines, they'll see a different version of myself. They'll see the devil in what is defined in their perception. And basically, the dragon starts to script one's reality. So, when you say your dark side, are you also, how could I define this? I want this to come out correct. That other version of you, yes, that's what I'm trying to say here.
You
That
mean,
has a
have I
dual.
given myself over to the more self serving and darker aspects of my being instead of trying to subserve myself to any positive endeavor towards this species and the violators, the abominations, and the detestable creatures they are? Yeah, I truly have delivered myself unto my darkness, and they helped me get there. Stone, cold, numb, black as pitch.
That's right. And I can't add anything to that as every being eventually governs and regulates themselves to the aspects they choose. So,
But you think I have not been here before? See? Do you think in all of my studies and all of these years, I don't know where I'm at? What
well,
I
you know exactly where you're at. uh, you know exactly where you're at. And like I defined in this process, there's going to be casualties, and beings are going to become aware they were responsible for the casualties. I accept that it's part of the process, but I don't mourn anybody who perceived is unalived because I don't perceive death. Well, what is defined, this path of death is the opposite of the living, of where I implode my fields to inconduction fields and down of what I define magnetic gravitational fields of fire, right? So the implosion process, the Egyptians were trying to teach that to in the Book of the Dead, where you actually move beyond while you're still in this vessel through certain aspects. But
Of course
why I
I
don't
know that.
mourn? But why I don't mourn death? Because I know that nobody dies. Their core essence, energy, being
It's
designed,
not
perceived.
mourning death. It's being browbeaten and punished with someone's death. And their act
Right.
has nothing to do with being sad or mourning.
Yes. Yes. I'm just speaking directly on my how I govern myself. Right. I'm not directing nothing at you. When I speak access is through my experience, unless we're interjecting and cross-examining each other. But why I I don't change in my feeling what I define a fire. I have fun and joy with everything because I choose to, but it's a dark type of fun and joy. It's not what people would perceive as the joy of the anti-light. Definitely not. Okay, it's dark. It's dark. Sometimes it's painful, and sometimes there's so much misery there. But I like it. It's just alchemized. It's just an energetic feeling of all that energy I'm converting and fueling my fire furnace. The furnace, fuel for the fire, is what I see every insignificant bleeder as. Okay, fuel for the fire.
First
So
thing, Zypher, your positive aspect would be in complete contrast to me right now.
yeah, I get
Unless
that.
I
Are you put
offend you completely, you are probably best in the chat.
oh in the chat? Okay, I thought you were directing that at me.
No,
But I want to
no.
continue is why I can't be changed. I've chosen my frequency resonance of existence. The underworld is where I regulate myself to perceive fire laws of physics. Okay, death. And I've had mockers perceive the Warfoot soldiers by myself, sort of talking but directing it at me. Totally dead. Good. That's where I prefer to be because that's where I exist as perceived. That's where I enjoy myself. Okay. But
This is just
why?
a part of me, singularity. I don't deny it.
Yeah, of
I
course not.
utilize it.
Yes. Yes. But my perception is, well, not only my perception, my accurate analysis of somebody perceived being unalive. Their vessel got broken. They didn't make it. Better luck next time. Maybe they can make more wise and discerning choices that could lead to other illumination, proper illumination. But somebody whose machine breaks, I know that's not the end of them. They'll be cycled into the system or go somewhere else if they're so be qualified to go somewhere else, self-develop before their machine breaks. But
As many times
nobody's.
as I've tasted death in my mouth and have been kissed by the god of death, and death has been removed, I understand singularity.
Yeah, I'm just sort of sharing this also for
I was
aspects of.
stabbed to death. I lost a lung at 3 years old and died. I've had overdoses. I mean, really.
Yes, yes. I've been betrayed by certain aspects of beings, but that's another story.
I
Where I was.
wasn't betrayed. I just know that it's not the end.
So I consider myself extremely betrayed by certain aspects of beings, and betrayal with certain aspects is not going to go quite well for their side of what I define their records of recordings.
Well, for all
Nothing.
the mortal man that brought me back, I detest them. But this last time, it was Lucifer himself that removed death from me, gifted me, and showed me that I was restraining myself. and to do it no longer.
Right.
I'm sorry if we're not vibing singularity, but
Oh, it's not all about vibing. When I go silent, there's nothing behind it. When I go silent, it's just I'm doing my own thing. It's just I'm in what is defined my own field, right? It's not about always vibing. It's also about crashing fields. People haven't realized that the dark path is not about a smooth ride. It's extreme crashing of energies where one shall develop themselves or be broken, unalive with the crashing fields of what is defined dark, dark fields of resonance. So in a sense, it is all good. And I define this one time on my videos is I'm going to be at the gates. I'm going to be testing people's builds, and there's going to be crashing. And if your machine isn't built well, if you're going to come and crash into my field, perceive violate, well, if your machine isn't built well, it shall break. And if you rebuild it, congratulations. If you don't, better luck next time. This is the way it works. This is the way it works. I could totally comprehend it. Uh, what you just stated, like you defined, it's not all about vibing. Sometimes it's about crashing with each other's fields, and that's what I enjoy doing. It. I've been doing that for 13 years with either other beings' energies or anti-light, etheric, and astral technologies, or even underworld technologies. That when somebody gets to the deeper levels, there needs to be consistent work done all the time, because down there it's not a free ride. There's always beings, species, entities trying to unalive you all the time. Either going to make it through building yourself, developing yourself, and knowing how to regulate and navigate through these deeper levels from below. So I get it totally. And like I defined, I know it's not all about vibing, that's for sure. If it's going to
if
be
you're
dark, it's going to be dark.
curious, singularity, I walk with the one true God of death, the God that everyone will serve.
Yeah, eventually there. They will still go through the refinement, through the fire. Everything eventually falls, and the stars shall be shaken and fall. They sure shall fall. When they are called, they shall fall. And guess who's below? I've been below for a long time waiting for all this. Okay. This is the main event that is transpiring by, I would define, a few years. A few years. And for the ones that were below, doing their work, comprehending the system, we shall be gatekeeping to what is authorized, giving other people their conditioning to what is authorized only. Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't wish to condition them. I do not wish to help them. I do not wish to enlighten them, teach them, share knowledge with them.
It's your energy that shall do it all. The sentient symbiotic energy we represent. We don't have to do much, but I do know this. It shall be a process, and there shall be processing. That's what it's all about. And like you define, of course, we don't have to lift the finger to do really anything except our basics, the necessities, and beyond that, the energy that we represent, carry, and hold is sentient, symbiotic representation of what I define source core, the luminary. Some people call Satan, Lucifer, our man, other labels, names, titles, but source represents all these things. All these things.
Death only has one title.
It sure does. I agree with that. Sure does.
The devourer of time, the eater of opposition. Yep.
But I will define this too as I'm glad you've made the decision to regulate. The way you're regulating it's good.
Well, I'm hitting on three different states of consciousness with these. abominations through the airwaves on frequency, through the ethereal in the planes of the damned and in the prime material, the real world here, where we have to sustain our shell, cart, golem. I did not stutter. I did not hesitate, nor did I misspeak yesterday.
I'm going to ask you a question, Axis. What do you put under the category of somebody bleeding on your channel? Certain
I
aspects that were
received their
displayed the other day.
energy. Oh, that was a revealing. But I knew that was coming.
Oh yeah, like I defined it with him. He's been doing that for a long time. He's not aware of it.
Well, the advantage I have in this, outside of astrology and the interaction with entities, is ever since I was working with frequency technology, I've been running algorithms on them. And if they think they can outsmart a computer, they didn't. That's how I learned the personalities and who was affected by what frequency.
Is somebody wanting to come up,
I
or is
really
that
don't
just
know. No.
well? I don't think anybody has to ask if they want to come up. They can come up. In my sphere, nobody needs permissions. If they can get in, they can get in.
Oh, I welcome all the very few.
Right. If you want to come up, whoever that is, that's stated it. I shut off my.
Oh, Zypher? No,
Yeah.
she carries entirely too much positive energy that she maintains a balance and a flow with. That would definitely contrast with my state of being. So it is probably best that we don't physically interact. She does project a type of wholesomeness that I have no use for at this point. Cypher, I'm serious. I will let you up here, but I'm not about happy, joy, balanced energy. I hope you understand that.
We're not all happy, joy all the time. You know that.
Right? Just that I'm very devoted to my convictions now.
Well, I'm here to support that.
I do hope that you were one of the lurkers that got to witness the sacrament.
the last couple of days, so I probably
No,
missed it.
today I opened this up with a ceremony to the Lord of Death, Time, Devourer of Opposition, the priesthood of the Black Throne, the Lord of this world. I mentioned that yesterday at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah, I've been feeling Saturn.
Oh, yeah. Yes, the dark cube projector of material reality, the influencer, the giver of joy through the suffering. Oh, the beautifully wonderful suffering. But if you weren't here, Zypher, they were fairly warned.
Yeah. I've been dealing with that a little bit of the fallout from that. It's all right though.
Oh, I imagine. I imagine.
I think it's kind of funny because they just like block. That's okay. I'm not chasing them, so
Where's their faith?
I don't know.
Have they none? And
Maybe
how,
not.
if they have no faith, are they going to stand before the Lord of this world and the God of death with dignity and perseverance?
I suppose
They
that's their
will
problem.
weep like children. Did you witness Cage's performance yesterday?
I saw some of him around in other places.
Oh, you missed a great performance, dear.
Yeah, I didn't. I haven't caught up yet.
Oh, you'll find it quite entertaining.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And it was a day of, it was one of my high holy, unholy, sacramental days of almost allowing attrition, but completing the ritual.
Good, good.
And he could have, but he did. And that was then, this is now. But you will enjoy the show. And please
Oh,
do share
I
in
will catch up.
my opening ceremony tonight. I think it will appeal to your darker nature. Using all these abominative degenerates generally grasp onto my channel to restream for content. They're in the "Where Are They Now" file. Cowards. They lose subscribers when I get real. You've seen that at Jeff. Mike is still suffering repercussions, and untouchable. I don't think they'll ever be back. And Jeff, well, he used to be really friendly to me, inviting. Not so much anymore.
Jeff still likes you. I don't know why he puts up with Mike, though. That's his choice.
Well, I do know that when I show up there, make a presence, that the numbers go down and people become displaced with my presence.
Yeah, people hear what they don't understand.
That's it. That makes sense. Absolutely. Mm,
How are you doing otherwise? You feeling strong? I feel like you feel
absolutely.
pretty strong. That's
Yeah.
good. My friend Twilight, Son of Lilith, came back. I was very happy for that. And we did a ritual last night.
I am concerned about my rat. She has been deadly still since I was preparing the ceremony. She has not moved.
Hmm. Well, I spent 2
She's
days here.
alive, but she's not
So,
moving.
yeah, I pretty much did the same thing for 2 days. Just waking up
This is
last
a
night.
this is a very awkward position. She's been like this ever since I set up the altar. Which is here.
Maybe she needs a little treat.
No. Can you see her?
Oh, yeah. I can
She
see her.
hasn't moved from that position.
Hmm. And she's awake,
Strange.
right?
Yeah. Don't you see her?
Yeah. It's hard to tell, though, because she's not moving.
Exactly. I've had that summoning circle fired up with some serious malevolency and entity and energies, but I have never seen her do that. Where are all the bold and daring Christians that
Well, if they're
I
smart, they're
use to feed on? I could use 3 or 4 of them right now. so I can shove their doctrine and their scriptures down their throats. I am quite well versed. You know, there's an interesting caveat in that book that they read. It says, for those who believe in me may be saved. It doesn't say they will. It says they may. And you better look at John 3:16 real close. Because if anyone knows that scripture and all those wonderful holy texts, it is the one that I serve. And I have them at the tip of my tongue. The equation that makes sense. Because it comes out with a derivative that is profoundly relevant. I freed my friend's mind today. She was helping me make phone calls because I was on the phone all day and a little bit on the what social media yesterday, but she was sitting beside me and she was really being cooperative in my endeavor. And I looked at her and I said, "You've been engineered. Would you like to be set free?" And she looked at me. She's African American. And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Would you like to know the truth?" And she said, "If it's the truth, yeah." And I said, "There is South Africa where there were many tribes that got along quite well for thousands of years. And then they were removed from there and brought to the West. And the British colonized, thus apartheid, the occupation. And then there's Mesoamerica, which is why the indigenous people of that place that are left speak Spanish and not Mayan, Incan, Toltec. Because they existed for thousands of years just fine. And my forefathers here in America existed just fine for thousands of years. But it seems that the Caucasian, the seed of Cain, set out to conquer all the root races and turned them into zealots with a Roman accepted state religion that became the first church of Rome. with the New Testament and the Council of Nicaea. And they set out across the lands to convert all the heathen. Convert or die while we plunder, pillage, rape, and conquer. I said before this, if you look into history, before that occupation of Africa, Australia, South America, North America, the Americas, I think people got along there quite fine for thousands of years. Do you know how profound that truth is?
Yep, I do. And I know the Amaru, the dragons of the Americas.
And when I explained to her that she had been engineered and indoctrinated, and when her ancestors were brought over here, they were brought over here not as free men, and their cultural beliefs were removed from them, and Christianity was forced upon them. I even explained to her that there was different dialects by region. I explained to her about the Orthodox Ethiopian, the Dogon, the Zulu Nation.
Dogon are pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I said each of these tribal nations spoke their own dialect. And she thought about it for a minute. And then it hit her. Who the seed of Cain was, if there was one. You know, the Canaanite, the one that the Jews and the Abrahamic religions seek to eliminate from the face of the earth, and did so throughout the entire Old Testament.
Pretty close to completely, but not quite.
Oh, I know it quite well. I even understand the breaking of the 7 root races. There was supposedly, according to that particular Judeo Old Testament Mosaic writing, a deluge where only 8 people came through the deluge. Am I to understand that there were 7 pure, genetically representatives of those root races, and 1 that would be considered an abomination, thus the Nephilim?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a fucking lie.
Is it? Yeah, I don't think it ever got knocked down to 8 people.
Nor do I. Nor do I believe that stolen heritage and history that the Semitic people took out of Babylon and then were enslaved again and then managed to break free of that and take their culture to Egypt. where they learned the culture of Egypt. But the whole time they were having conflict over the Yah or the El. Remember, I was grafted into the house of David as a Messianic to the Torah Institute in Louisville. Rabbi was white.
I think that I have ties to Shem.
I have ties to Cain. I have ties to the more earthbound origin of the species through my dad's lineage. And I know that I do carry the seed of abomination in me.
Well, a lot of us do. A lot more than they'd like to admit.
They won't admit it because they won't admit what they've done.
Well, and that's all they have to do is admit it.
What, that they set out to conquer the indigenous people on every
That
continent?
they did, yeah. Doesn't mean that's who they are now, but they have to accept that before they can be cleansed.
I had
But
an
you're right.
interesting experience in the desert. I was in a desert haze, if you know what that is. And I began to dream. And I seen all these Native Americans amongst all these white. And the the whole town and the village was run down really bad. And all the Native Americans were weeping because they seen the turning of the cycle. And instead of finding joy in retribution, they were weeping. For the
They know
destiny of those white people.
the desert needs the rain, though. That's what they do.
They were weeping. They were weeping for the white people because they knew the pain that they were going to endure. It was a hell of an experience.
Because they already had, and yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I
Would you
stayed on
expect?
a lot of
I
Indian
mean,
land.
yeah, me too.
And then my nation is divided from North Carolina, which is Eastern Band, to
Yeah.
Oklahoma, which is Western Band.
See, and I think the Eastern Band was what my tribe was. But they integrated with the white people, the settlers, and some colored people that were free people.
So that's after they came back. You do realize that the Creek were marched alongside of us.
Yeah, see, and my family headed west before the Trail of Tears. Ahead of it.
First 13 civilized tribes.
Yeah, well, we wanted out of the states as they were along the edge, the coastal area. So we went west, and some people died the plague in Louisiana or around Louisiana.
You know what the name or what the word Glen means?
A meadow?
Valley.
Yeah,
The
valley.
low-lying area between two hills or mountains. The valley.
That's
A
thwaite
glen.
is. That's what a thwaite is in Welsh. Yeah.
Do you know what
That's
Monday means?
what is?
Like,
Say it again.
Monday,
Monday, the moon. Yeah.
day of the
Monday.
moon.
Yeah.
Do you
It's Monday
realize
full.
that my name given into civilized culture, but by the heritage of my dad, is Valley of the Moon. Glen Monday.
Is that you? That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, Frank
Kate
Monday.
doxed my name and
That's not why they
half
were
my
doing.
family yesterday, but he was completely almost 30 years off from my addresses, my phone numbers,
Yeah.
and the only reason he knew where my mom was is because the first video on my video list.
Yeah.
And I even say my name in that video.
Yeah. I dox myself all the time. Everybody should be able to find out who I am, but I'm not
But he
scared.
was doing this maliciously.
Yeah. Well, and he'll pay for that. That's the way that
You
works.
need to watch it. You really need to watch it.
I will.
I will run him to the bowels of hell
Yeah.
in all three aspects. The metaverse, the ethereal and beyond, and the prime material.
The puppies
And
are attacking a bear, a stuffed
uh,
bear. He's flying. He's hung on a rope in the backyard, and they're just going after him. It's really adorable and vicious. They're vicious. The little one. Oh my god. He's the meanest one of the whole bunch. You should hear him growl. He's vicious.
my rat still has
Yeah. You don't want to pick her up?
not when she's scared like that.
Oh. Well, there's nothing you can do to comfort her, huh?
Not really. No.
Yeah. But you think she'll be okay then? Probably.
When I go to sleep.
Yeah. That cake did not last very long the other night. The next morning, the next day, it was totally gone.
I woke up this morning and I asked Dee if she would come over and help me make phone calls today and get some of this shit taken care of and on the roll, shit on the ball. And she baked me fish and baked potatoes.
Yum.
Yeah.
It's good. I love cake. You know what's really funny is that the drawing that I have for my avatar, the guy that drew it for me, his name was Pound Cake.
No, she made me fish, baked
Yeah, fish.
fish and baked potatoes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And then she helped me make phone calls all day.
That's great. You got a lot done. You hear the dog? Oh my God.
I'm really not that happy. That's
Yeah.
not my state. I'm sorry. I feel
Yeah,
that
it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be.
I
I
can't
can't.
accommodate.
Yeah, I can't help but be the way that I am.
I
But
know that.
but I
I
can
didn't
leave you
didn't
in your sadness and
sadness,
or your darkness, your anger,
my liberation.
your liberation, and your anger because you're mad.
I don't think you
It's
understand.
see then that's the only thing that I see as dark is sadness. So I'm sorry if I misunderstood you, but
You really need to go back
I
and
will.
look
I
at
will.
some of my
That's my truth.
endeavors into the darker aspects of me.
I should catch
Now,
up
I
on that.
did it many times without this contemptuous malevolence. But once I decided to convict myself of my priesthood, I embody it now.
That's good. Embodying it is what we are here to do.
And I cannot bend to appease anybody else's disposition. I
That's
am
good.
convicted,
These
truly convicted.
dogs, they're all fighting right now.
You know, I've got some wonderfully inspirational music. Not asking you to leave the stage, but I'm looking
Yeah.
for it at the moment.
I'll listen to some music with you and then I'll catch up on what I missed because it was actually kind of rude for me to come up without patching myself up. But I saw that you were on and I wanted to say hi.
I appreciate that. And your presence hasn't gone unnoticed here
Yeah.
as a supportive individual. Believe me, I have mentioned your name more than once.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And you know it always appreciates.
Do you know Tab Rose, Dawn?
I don't really. No, you've mentioned her before, but I've never bumped into her, I don't think.
She wound up, um, I gave her an invitation to the Cult of Access. And
It's the Facebook group.
yeah, and those people are very, very convicted. And I don't think she realized what she was stepping into.
Yeah, most people don't.
But I can't be apologetic for any member
Well,
standing
people
up
should ask
for.
questions want to know too. I mean, just go wandering into something without asking any question.
Well, if you see her, I texted her and let her know that these people have been devoted into influencing the field with me for a very long time.
Well, and I do
And
know Rose, but I don't. Is she Jewish?
no, she's a statistics and number person from Florida, but we usually
Oh,
get along very well.
yeah,
And
it's a
I
different.
wanted to kind of give her a sense of, you know, um, sorry you were violated, but I can't do that when it comes to something that these people and myself have devoted ourselves to for a very long time. So I hope she understands or is listening
Well, if
because
I
he
see you,
didn't respond.
yeah, she's probably just busy or something. A lot of people are busy right now.
Yeah, it's the second week and from the beginning of the year.
Yep,
So busy bodies getting ready for
3 more days until my ex that passed away's birthday. It's always a kind of a rough time of year. It always was for him too. His birthday, he always got arrested or something happened. I was in the hospital 1 year for his birthday, getting my gallbladder removed.
everyone I ever loved, but 3 people are dead.
Yeah, I've lost a lot of people in the last few years too. Nothing worse.
And my daughter and my mom are estranged from me.
Yeah,
And I have my surrogate dad.
that's good.
But outside of that, I went
Yeah,
through my lineage on the 12th day of evil. And I went
yeah,
through the anti-prophets, which are the demonic influences that possess the people that I was related to.
yeah. I've been doing some research about this. He, his name was, what was it? It was, I forget now. It's Marshall, Douglas Marshall.
I don't know.
And yeah, there's like these cloning and celebrities and things like that. It's like cloning centers. It's like very weird stuff.
They started taking orders today for the first biological integrated computer.
Yeah, I saw
Did
that
you
coming
see
home.
that?
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
realize that one of the side effects of this thing is that it secretes waste?
yeah, I know. It's not gonna happen.
It's
Not on
done
this.
happen.
Yeah,
They're
but it's not.
selling it.
You don't have to be on that timeline though. This is a choice point.
Well, I don't know about that timeline, but I do know that they are in this physical construct and they are for sale right now.
Yeah.
They just hit the market.
Well, don't buy it. You're not gonna buy it.
No, actually, once I'm done with this 28-day endeavor, I'm going to go probably back into music and reinstate myself into the
Yay!
temple and knock.
That's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. I got to see.
So more
I
music
got
would be great.
well. I got to see what was left of Thrill Kill Cult, and there's only 4 members that are playing on stage now. There's only one original member, and they sounded like shit. And they didn't
Yeah.
have a guitarist. And
Yeah.
seeing since I've just about got my health back, I thought about getting a hold the record label,
You should.
and
That sounds like a great idea.
I don't want studio. I want
No.
to stay on the
Tour?
road. Yes,
Yeah, that's
that's what I
that's
did before. I was a hired gun on tour. I don't want to do studio work.
yeah, no,
I
that's
want
boring.
to be out there because they sounded empty, hollow. You know, you
I'm
didn't
so glad
have
I
Buzz
see
and
that.
Groove Man. You didn't have Beat Mistress. You didn't have me. You didn't have, I mean, even Thomas Thorne, for the love of evil,
You know how
would have been.
sh- that I've seen you in concert, but I didn't know you then, and now I know you a little bit, and it's just very weird for me.
Well, don't be starstruck. I was just a
I'm
tour
not. Oh no,
musician.
I did that with Trent Reznor, and I was very disappointed eventually.
Yeah, he's a prick.
Yeah, and he was so fucked up when I met him in New Orleans. I didn't recognize him at first because he cut his hair, and it just didn't click. And then I was just sitting there in this little dive bar above this closed restaurant in New Orleans, and
I
he
have
was,
someone in back. I'm sorry, Cypher, to cut
oh
you
yeah,
off.
bring him on
But me and you need to get together on a private stream, and
for
I will
sure.
tell you about the Downward Spiral tour,
Yeah, I
the
that album
Smells Like
really got
Children tour.
yes, and
Yeah,
I Marilyn
I'll tell you.
Manson.
Whoever Joshua is back here, if you can't put something intelligent in chat or cam up, then
Yeah, he's
I'm
filtering.
going to ban you.
I don't
And
know any
that's
Josh.
not a threat. That's a promise. So if you can't do that within the next 3 seconds,
Says the USA is anti-people. USA is anti-America. Yeah, probably. But I'm not anti-people. I'm anti-dumb people. Of
well, look,
course, the
let me
government
help
is.
you out
Yeah,
so
he's
that
not.
you comprehend exactly what you've stepped into. Okay? I want you to understand that if you can't cam up, then I'm not going to consider you to be an authentic, actual person. That's not going to happen because I'll cam the fuck up. I'm not ashamed of who I am.
I got to turn my camera around.
So if you can't cam up, then I can't take you as being a legitimate person.
Darcy. Woo-hoo. I'm here too.
Let's see what he has to say because he's only showing light. You better pray to whatever God you serve because he is not with you here.
Hello. Hello. What you looking at?
That was hilarious.
Like I said, his God is not with him today. I hope that was worth it.
Yeah, fake voices are
But
not.
my God is with him
Mm,
because he come here. And if you remember, if you come to this channel, you are a
mm.
willing participant into my rituals, rites, my blood ceremonies, and whatever entities attach themselves to you.
Yeah, I'm not scared.
Nor am I.
Mm.
But that is the reason why after I do this blood ritual, I'm going to go back into personal endeavors outside of anything social media, except for dropping my music.
Yeah, that's great. And I would be like stoked to be able to like do some creative stuff, like some artwork or something, if that would be,
I will
because
not
I'm,
forget you if that's what
yeah,
you think.
no, I don't think that you will. I mean, I never
My
assume that anyone will remember me, but
email is axisratblood with two T's at gmail.com.
easy. And you'll recognize me because mine is Zephyr1369 at Gmail.
And I do filter my mail, but I will look for you.
Yeah. I'll put like a RE Axis Zephyr or something like that.
Yeah, I do filter my I get a lot of email,
Yeah,
but
I have
I will
several different.
definitely.
I anticipate that I'll be getting more email at that email, probably spams. But it's all right.
I get a lot of emails from. I have a pretty good following on TikTok. I have the Cult of Axis. I have a Facebook presence. Um, you know,
Yeah, I
I
have
have.
like followers on Facebook, but I never even go there anymore. I got the
Well,
maximum.
I run a group there, and a lot of old musicians that I used to play with actually still have Facebook accounts,
Yeah, I
and it's
noticed that
about.
too. A lot of the older musicians that I used to know that were from here in Albuquerque or around New Mexico, they all have Facebooks.
Yeah, a
But I
lot
don't
of
do.
people from the Rust Belt that was involved with Wax Tracks, TBT, Interscope, Cleopatra, and Nothing. Um,
Yeah, I
the,
like Epitaph
they're- yeah, they all have a Facebook presence.
and Epicac. That's Mike Patton's from Faith No
I don't
More
think.
and Uncle.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
That
I
was
wouldn't
awesome.
know
I think you would like
because
Mr. Bunk.
yeah, prior to that it was Mystic Witness, but we were a hair metal band and we were out of Cincinnati. Well, the label was Queen City Records. It's a subsidiary of RCA,
Did you ever
and
hear of called Seventh Sign?
uh,
Yeah,
no,
they're from is Greg, Anaya, some friends of mine. He
cool.
passed away. He was in a motorcycle accident a few years back, but and I went to his like wedding. I was like very cool guy.
Yeah, they kept us in the Midwest for some
Yeah.
reason.
Well,
We
and you made
couldn't
it
break.
to farming or to Aztec. I heard about Throco Cult whenever I was like still a freshman in high school,
No,
which is
that
like
was Mystic Witness, my first band.
was it?
That was a hair. Yeah, it was like I said, Queen City, subsidiary RCA, and that was just before uh, grunge kicked in. And our last show was 1989.
Yeah, see, and I wasn't quite into anything that was that modern at that point. That was I was still listening to all the old rock and roll and it's like Led Zeppelin and Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck and
No, I was a big hair, spandex wearing, lots of studs and glam and
yeah,
flash,
I liked
and
Nazareth and I liked Slayer.
but
I
we were
liked
dark. I mean,
Pent.
you know, by all aspects of whatever a hair band can be, we were dark. But once grunge come in, and then uh, everybody started getting bankrupted, that was a hair band. I mean, it was over fucking night. And
Yeah,
then hip hop came in. by the time hip hop come in, I was already integrated into the Rust Belt.
Yeah, well, and I think a lot of the influence of you guys being like stuck there, like in that little bubble, was like bands like The Faint. They came out of Omaha, and then like Soul Coughing. They were really good.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I
I never
mean,
got to see them
well,
perform, and I wanted to see the Ruby Vroom tour
yeah, yeah,
in Chicago, but I
I
wound
freaking
up I wound up getting too fucked up to be able to go to the show.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
I love Soul Coughing, man.
yeah. Well,
Very,
and
very good.
probably still have a lot of people that are musicians that are like that knew Perry Farrell and Jane's Addiction and stuff because they did a lot of their Lollapalooza or whatever.
Well, they were West Coast, and
Came east.
I didn't. Well, him and that Navarro, from my understanding, were like California heroin and heroin.
Yeah,
And I mean, and I just I wasn't into the festival things. One, Thrill
yeah,
Kill Cult didn't play festivals,
yeah.
and
No, I would say raves more than anything. If you did anything
well,
like that.
yeah, we we played more of the industrial bars and the techno
Yeah.
goth clubs
Well, see, and that's
until
what too. I mean, I saw Marilyn Manson in Albuquerque in a dive bar before they were ever even famous. And then the first time I saw them, like a video, was on Much Music from Canada.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because there was
cool. So
this show that you could call, and it would charge you like $2, and you could put in a request, and it would play the video on the channel or whatever. I forget what it was called, but we had it via satellite. And, yeah, I used to that was, like, how I saw and I recorded it with my VHS.
well,
Play the
if you
video.
get a chance, um, there's a couple new live performances that Thrill Kill Cult just released.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
saw them. I added both of the ones that were on your channels that you follow.
yeah, this is a new. This is at the end of 2024, just before we turned over into the new year, and they got a female bassist. They got Groove Man and a keyboardist and a drummer that I never seen before, and that's it. That is all that's left. And I mean, they did, you know, for four people, they did, the best they could with the backing track, but it still sounded very hollow. I'll have to send you the link. Um, I definitely want you to see the last couple performances because I think if they had, like the Beach Street Girls back, or they even brought in new girls and somebody to take Buzz's place, I think, and put a guitar in there, they would have a full sound again. But it's just my opinion. I'm very critical, especially when it comes to that. But I
Yeah.
definitely want you to have the links,
Looks like
and I
you
definitely want you to see them.
video. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, because it looks like you on the Santa Ana video that was uploaded like a year ago.
The last tour I done was right here. It was 2016, and it was with B Movie Monsters, and we did a nationwide tour. I got all the dates on the back of here where we were. and we're touring with the others, and that was the last tour I ever. That was the last tour I ever
Just-
went on.
They just uploaded it, maybe. It's probably not the one you're talking about, though.
So let me see if I can find it because I'd really love for you to see. Because I felt bad, man. I mean, there was such a there wasn't the energy wasn't there, the fullness of the band wasn't there. It broke my heart. I mean, I was like, fuck, I'll play for free, dude. It's just fucking just so you guys got a guitar, you know? It's got to be in my history. Has to be in my history. Let me see if I can find that some bitch. I really, really want you to see that.
There's one from somebody that their channel's called Dick Goodbody, and it's what does it say? It's oh man, what happened to it? Oh, it's just
Let me see. It's got to be in my history. What the fuck's going on here? Okay, there we go. History. Now I know I'll find it. I would definitely give you a link because I want your opinion. I truly, I want your opinion. I want to know what you feel, what you think about it. Because you were at the Sexy Ball tour, right? Because the tour after that was Hit and Run Holiday, and I had nothing to do with that at all. Zero, nothing. I don't want to be accused of even being a part of that fucking disaster.
playing with you guys after you opened for Lords of Acid.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
God Was Underwater first, and then us, and then
And
Lords
see
of
them.
Acid.
I didn't get there early enough to see God Lives Underwater. I only liked one of their songs anyways. But I definitely was there in time to see you. And then Lords of Acid was great. They had like all sorts of people naked going up on the stage. It was insane.
This is in the this is yeah, 24 full show in Santa Ana. I'm
Yeah.
going to send you the
I think
link.
that's the one that I found. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's got the 4 members and the female bassist.
I didn't watch it yet because we're still on, but I bookmarked it.
Well, I'm going to put the link out there just in case. Not that anybody gives a fucking shit. Fucking people. They wouldn't
Yeah.
know the lifestyle. They wouldn't know what that was all about. They don't have the fucking.
Well, for
Unless
them
you were
it's
there and a
it's
part of it.
for them it's fashion. It's an aesthetic. It's not like a way of life. And that means they're posers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why, I see all these uh, rejects on YouTube and they wonder why they're not going to make it. Well, the industry don't want them. The industry, there's a billion of them out there. And the industry's not interested. You know, you haven't paid your fucking dues. You fucking, and more or less, they couldn't trust you. Not you, but 99% of the YouTube platform and the chat and the panelists, hell, they couldn't be trusted. They can't be trusted with, a fucking lie from one channel to the other, more or less. keeping their shit together on the road or on tour or
Yeah,
inside
they
the
would go
band.
fast. They don't have the endurance. It just doesn't.
No.
Here,
And then they
I
wonder why they're not stars.
you'll like this girl too. I found her today, and she's a millennial, but I think that a lot of people have really underestimated some of the millennials because they
Well,
are,
my daughter has a
yeah,
band called it's called Casually Committed, and I had some posts of her, and I put up a couple of her performances, but
yeah. I posted it in the back because I can't well, I can post links. I didn't think about that, but
yeah,
I
and
forgot to post
their
it.
their new release is on Spotify, and there's another Spotify, and there's another platform that they're released on because apparently uh, that's how they promote themselves now and make their money and get their gigs and get
You
their
should post it in the back chat because I can't click it on the other chat.
you can't. This is just a throw pill cult link here, out
Oh,
here.
okay.
That's all that is. The one you got. I just put it out there in case. Um, well, they won't. So fuck them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to click that one though, and because I'm in. Well, I guess maybe I could do it in the other in the
Well, as long as
YouTube.
you got the Santa Ana um,
Oh yeah,
2024 tour the full show, then you'll see it's only 4 members, and I want your opinion. I truly want your opinion. Yeah, another thing too is um, something happened where that sex, drugs, Satan, um, lifestyle, and image. Uh, it's just not a. I
yeah.
don't
It
know
became.
whether Marilyn Manson commercialized it to the point where everybody started puking.
It wasn't him. It wasn't him. It was just like I think that it's the same thing that happens with every kind of doctrine, every kind of like trend is that there are people that start doing it that don't have. They're not doing it from the right place, and they're doing it just because it's cool, and they don't have any unique style of their own. They steal it, and then they make it like impure. They make it like like how punk rock with the skinheads, like the KKK started taking over, and like that if you watch
Nazi
the civil
punk.
yeah, yeah, it got like ruined it, and then everybody that hadn't been exposed to it already, like all they knew was that negative experience that they got from the fake poser punk, and they didn't actually get the message of sovereignty and anarchy and self-reliance and liberty and freedom, real
Yeah,
freedom. They didn't
I
get
was
that message. That's why
I
they
was
think
very
anarchy
goth in
works.
the punk scene in my early days. After I went through a real depression after we were bankrupt as Mystic Witness. 'Cause I didn't think I'd ever play music again. I thought that's the end,
It's always
and that was
darkest.
it was bad.
Yeah,
It was, mm.
it's funny how
But
you get these things though, right? Because like then when you're on the other side of it, you go, "Wow, I actually like I made it through that." So like whatever life shows me is not going to be that bad from here on out because that was pretty bad and I got through that. So and then it piles on another one and another one usually, and then you're like, "Whoa, I made it through those too. Fuck."
yeah, if it
You just get
wasn't for Uncle Al, man, um, you know, I contribute my whole industrial career to Uncle Al,
Yeah.
and you know, Thrill Kill Cult was originally one of Jorgensen's projects. You know,
Yeah.
he developed that
Check that
around,
out too.
yeah, just before the Revolting Cocks started touring.
Yeah.
Thrill Kill Cult was in development, and wow, those were the fucking days.
Yeah. Well, and your best days could still be ahead of you. You don't know.
Well, I'm enjoying the fuck out of myself now in my own liberation. You know, I I
And I didn't
I
mean to turn it.
totally do what?
I said I didn't mean to turn it positive again. God damn it.
Oh, I'm not positive. Believe me. Yeah, if you
Uh,
think you've broken my darkness, you have not even put a
Hey,
dent in it.
I'm just making sure.
No, no. If I felt that there was any light leaking into my black soul, I would let you know.
Yeah, well, any light that was coming from me would be dark light anyways, because I know that it's all light. But most people can't see it with their eyes. Because you'd be blind if you did.
Well, I've been here before,
Me too.
so it's not a new place to feel this numb, cold, and just,
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of abyss gazing.
yeah. I
Or abyss peeking at first and then abyss gazing.
it almost has a feel of when I fully embodied being uh, totally goth back
Yeah.
before it was even a thing. You know, with
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson, and you
People
know
are
we
surprised that I'm into that, because they see me now and I'm like all rainbows and everything, and then they're like really totally surprised that I have a dark side. Because I mean, it's like it just is even more shocking whenever it comes from somebody that looks all shiny and happy.
yeah, I never owned clothing with color from the
Yeah, I
time
like
that I fully embodied goth as a chosen lifestyle. And then when you threw industrial music into it from the Rust Belt, well, hell, I fit right the goddamn hell in. I was just a fucking, you know, I'd already been introduced to music and performing, and had band, a successful band. And
look
fuck,
at
man.
this today. This is like a skirt. Isn't that cool? It like
Right, right.
it's like layers. It's like ties. It's got buckles on the and
Hell
leather
yeah.
strap. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
showed my, it was actually, I had a pair of leather pants that went over top of them, but it's my harness, my leather shirt, my shoulder, my epaulets. But the leather pants are actually in the closet with my boots, and I still have all the accessories hanging around the house here. But I showed
yeah,
that on
got all
camera
the, like
yesterday.
gloves and leather collars and things like that too. I have like
Oh yeah,
and boots and stuff. Yeah, I dress up to go to work, and so I always have like different costumes, and I have like some gypsy costumes. But this will be like a warrior princess. I'll have to take my walking stick sword with me to work.
right. I
Yeah,
just
I've got it's like
once I
Cobra.
embodied it, I never. It was so real and a part of my self expression, and it really reflected uh, the disappointment. And it was my way of individualizing myself into a disdain for
Yeah,
the rest of the fucks. you know, and all
It's
the
always
fucking disappointment.
expressing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and being yourself. Like a lot of people don't like that. You know, I realized that right away, but it didn't make me want to do it less.
fuck them.
But
You know,
and
that
then
was always
occasional person, there would be that one person that was like, I really like your vibe. I like you. This is perfect. You know, and they would actually appreciate it, and that makes it all worth it. Because that one
well, I
person that
tell
did.
you, when I used to go home, when I'd get a break, I had other endeavors that I engaged in, but when I'd get a break and go home to a back ass little country town, and they did not know how to deal with it. They knew I was, you know, doing okay. They knew I was well off. They knew I was into something, but man, they just had no. That was farmers, rednecks.
Yeah,
You know,
good old boy.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's what my dad's friends were, all good old boys, and I was whenever I was working in the strip club, there was a lot of those guys that came in, and they're all miserable too.
Yeah, it was a culture shock.
Oh yeah, that's
So
how it was. I moved to the bigger school. I was like, what is all this friggin' social hierarchy bullshit? In fourth grade. That was my serious demeanor in fourth grade.
why I would come home out of the, you know, for I'd get a couple weeks off here and there, and you know, I stayed with family there because I missed being home. I missed it, but I'd always find myself completely fucked up at the Galt House in Louisville.
Oh yeah, my friend is from Kentucky. My friend Zach, and he's gay. He doesn't like having to go home either, but anymore he doesn't. But that's just because he's gay and nobody accepts him there.
I
That
just
sucks.
was a stranger in a strange land when I finally came back, and I could tolerate for a little bit, and I could tolerate the family for a very short time, and then I had to go, and I'd always go to Louisville. And I love the Galt House, man, because it spins on top of that fucking hotel,
Yeah,
the
that's
restaurant.
cool. Zach said that he misses he actually misses the energy vortexes, but he moved to Sedona, so um,
That's a
because
nice place too.
yeah,
I
yeah, it's
like the
really
desert.
well, and he lives in his van in Angel Valley, like right by Sedona. And he works at this cool place where he does roller disco and stand-up comedy shows, and he um, also does something else. I forget. He works at Apotheca. Basically, it's like a shop. They sell like rape and kava and all sorts of herbs. It's a very cool place.
I I stayed out near Kingman, Quartzsite, and Bull's Head, and Wickensburg.
Did you ever go to
Whenever
Jerome, the haunted mining town?
no,
Yeah, we went there
no,
last time.
I was trying to get the I was trying. I That was 2018. My last tour was 2016, and I was trying to get all that out of my system and redevelop who I was inside because I had completely lost touch with, you know, that person that I was originally before I got caught up in all the sex and the drugs and the touring and the dungeons and the whole lifestyle for so long. And I took off as a nomad. And
Like to go camping ever? Because like if you like to go camping, you should someday come here to northern New Mexico. We go to this place called El Porvenir, and it's got hot springs in Montezuma, but
oh yeah,
really, really great. Free hot springs. You have to get some of the pond scum out of there, but they have like these little nets and you clean it out, but it's like really hot, like 140, 120 degrees. And then the campsite that we have is next to Beaver Creek, and it's got like a clean porta potty, as much wood as you can burn in your campfire. It's friggin' awesome. There's Wi-Fi in distance from there, so you can still listen to music if you don't have it all on your phone recorded or whatever. If you don't have CDs, because I never have
I
those
stayed
anymore.
in no service zones because I had to refund me. You know, I
Yeah,
had
we'll
a
see.
massive drug habit. I still had a massive stage ego. I had,
Yeah, they're hard
still
to
had
kill.
that, yeah. And I
Yeah,
had to completely murder that individual that was living inside of me.
yeah.
And
It grows back though. It does, because that's what your ego does. But it's better behaved usually after you kill it a few times. But I actually stopped killing mine because I had to, once I stepped on the path of unconditional love, I had to figure out a different way to do it. So I just gave him a
oh
dozen.
no, this was a fucking monster. This was a drug addict, over excess, um,
Yeah,
uh,
it was bored and
hedonism. Fuck, Christ, man.
bored and trying to survive. It is there for your survival, and that's why it grows back and you can't get rid of it completely ever.
Yeah, I cherished the time that I was out, and I'll always consider Arizona my surrogate home.
Yeah.
And
Well, if you get out here again, you better stop by through Albuquerque, or else I'll be butthurt.
well, yeah, I take 90 cross country.
Yeah, well, that's I-40 and I-25 go through here, so
Yep, I know exactly where it is.
yep,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
definitely on the. It's hard.
Once I get on the other side of Oklahoma, I know I'm okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's right up by El Porvenir. So, I mean, because Las Vegas is just north of El Porvenir, and it means the future in Spanish,
Yeah,
which I didn't know. So I
that's
got
not
rocks.
far from Bull's Head and the um, Colorado River, which is a creek now, but it was a
Yeah,
river at one time.
Colorado Springs, or no, it's what is it? The place in Colorado, Pueblo, is right above Santa Fe, basically, but it's a little bit more to the east, which is
Now I
right where
stayed
Las
out in the desert of Santa Rosa, New Mexico. I stayed way out in the desert there.
That's not too far from where I am. I mean, I'm
Really?
yeah, I'm in the South Valley, kind of by Los Lunas,
Okay. Okay,
which
because
is
I used to roam that whole uh, Santa Rosa area, man. That was before the plague. That was nice.
oh,
Had
which
those
plague?
two big trucks. The one that we got locked down. I didn't get locked down. I stayed out on the
Oh,
road. I was
yeah,
on the road the whole time. Everybody was locked down. And prior to the lockdown, Santa Rosa that had those two big truck stops, and you could go way out in the middle of the fucking desert.
yeah.
And
I live up there in the middle of nowhere. It's so great, and there's tunnels underneath all of it. It's crazy if you know where they are.
right, I didn't know where those were, but I know that after the lockdown, man, Santa Rosa was a ghost town.
Yeah, everybody left or died. Yeah, there was like it's crazy. There's so many ghost
Yeah,
towns out here now. I mean,
I was
even like
fucked up.
here, even here in Albuquerque, there's so many boarded up businesses. It's ridiculous. It's really been hard for some of the places to bounce back, but we've got a good downtown growing now, which is sort of developing a bit of a scene. And we're getting a lot of people from California, the people that were burned out of LA. Uh, this is the closest place that has, film subsidies and things. And we've got Netflix studios, so they've actually been like, we've been having a little boom here in Albuquerque
All
for
right,
business.
good.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll start a new
Maybe,
music scene there.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking totally that it would be like perfect for that kind of thing. And it's like next month I'm gonna go see the Codependents. They're from California, sort of. I think some of them are from also the Midwest, but they ended up in California. And
I've never heard of them.
yeah, $20 show. It's the yeah, I'll send you a link for DEF CONs. You'll like them. They're like it's like punk rock, I guess, but it's also a little like hip hop music, not so much rap, but I guess there's a little bit of it, but it's like more harmonic, like old jazz more than rap, you know?
I'm gonna send you a link to my daughter's channel so that
Okay,
you
great.
can so that
I
you
love
can hear
proud parents, you
her band.
know? Yeah, I'll send you some pictures in the email of my girls, my girl and boy, I guess. I'm still working on the pronouns. Um, not perfect.
Well, we weren't brought up with
Yeah,
that
I
type
know.
of
I try and I love my kids. That's all that matters, I think. I try and I love them more than anything. They make me so proud because they don't need me. They're out in the world and they're doing good.
Well, my
And that
daughter is, but I
that
have an adopted daughter. Uh, she's a lesbian, and her woman have a farm in Muncie, Indiana, and they've
that's
been together for
good.
25 years.
Great. That's a long relationship. I've never been in a
Yeah.
relationship that mine was 17. That's the longest.
Well, they've been together, and they have a farm, and they do, they got fucking tractors and
I love
got
farms, man.
fucking
I miss the
everything, man.
I grew
She's
up
a
on a ranch.
tomboy,
Yeah, yeah. I love tomboys too.
and she was never a problem. And then uh, Sydney, my daughter, she got a music scholarship to get through Purdue University, and then she moved to Ann Arbor for a while, Detroit, and then she went out to Colorado, and bam, made it immediately.
Yeah, Colorado is pretty interesting. I think probably end up my mama's gonna buy some land there and we're gonna make like a compound in southern Colorado somewhere. Like my mom is the planner and I'll just gather all these nomads from all over the country that I'm friends with that have stopped by Albuquerque on their way through to here or there. Eventually, I've got one
Right?
friend that's hiking the Appalachian Trail right now. Her name is
Oh
Kate.
fuck!
Yeah, and she's doing really great. Like she'll like make a little video while she's hiking, like, and then she'll upload it whenever she gets to someplace with Wi-Fi. But she records it, and she's staying in hostels and stuff on the way, meeting all sorts of people that are also hiking the trail, which is cool.
That is fucking some serious fucking hype. That
Yeah,
is a
well, it's hard to
serious
buy new
fucking
so
endeavor.
she was like there was like pictures of her feet and she had like blisters all over her shoes and she was like, oh my god. And this one guy just said, come on, we're gonna go to the friggin' outfitter and you're gonna buy you some shoes. And so she got shoes just the other day,
Fuck's
and now she's
sakes,
doing much
man.
better.
I lived in the east. Well, I grew up in eastern Kentucky, Liberty, Casey County, and you know all that terrain there. God damn.
I hiking though, you know, it's like there's nothing better than that. And I don't care how long I've been in a city, if you drop me out in the middle of the forest, I will be fine. I mean, it might hurt the first couple of days, but I'll get used to it because it's like muscle memory once because that's how I grew up, you know?
I understand that. It's like I did a slight review of the anti-prophets in my life, and that was all uh, Liberty, Kentucky, and that was the
Yeah,
Ohio Valley.
I want to go over there because, and I want to check out the Ohio Valley, considering I died there last time.
I died over the Ohio River when I got stabbed to death, man, right across from the Kennedy Bridge. That was the last thing I seen before
Yeah,
I was at
my la-
peace.
my last death, I died at Kent State, and I got shot in the back of the head and have a birthmark.
Oh, I'm talking this way. I actually got stabbed to fucking death.
Actually
They
got shot in
revived
my.
me on the
It was like
helipad.
it was the Kent State massacre, the same thing that Neil Young sang about. I didn't even know. I mean, I knew that song, but I didn't know it was about one of my people. I was like, no way. I guess it's kind of sad because it is something famous, but only because it's killed.
I'm trying to find her. I've got so many I monitor 7 monitors in my living room at a time. I have 7 actual monitors, and I have 6 machines
Yeah, I
running.
noticed you were looking up at one of the upper monitors, and I was like, what is he doing? And then I was like, oh, he
Yeah,
must have a screen.
yeah,
There's something.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them right in front of me, and then there's the big giant wall one that I watch uh, select
TV.
movies on.
Yeah, yeah. We have a 4K TV in the living room, and I love that thing. I can read, like, whenever I'm watching a podcast and somebody has books on their bookshelf, I can, like, read what their books are in the background. It's freaking awesome. Somebody, basically, they needed money, like, really quickly, and then sold us around 200. It was great.
Yeah, I have a broadcast studio. I showed uh, 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 Callie.
Yeah, that's so cool. I actually have a MacBook, and then I have a mixer and a turntable and some other like recording equipment stuff. But I've never really I've always had this like fantasy that I would be a DJ someday, sort of, but because I have really good taste in music and I would like to be able to mix some stuff together, but I just haven't. I guess maybe whenever I'm older and I'm less, I want to sit down more, maybe that'll be a good time to do that.
Here it is. Um,
Oh,
I was going to actually use that studio for YouTube, but once I got it together, it's really fucking nice, and I will not use it for YouTube because I feel that it would be a waste on YouTube.
yeah, probably. But you could make something like creative series or something, maybe.
Well, I actually broadcast from it on different my other platforms,
Like the
but
radio
not.
idea. I wish that we could actually play music and not get copyright, uh, TOS. Because I would love to have my own little radio station on the internet.
Yeah, I kind of did that with TikTok there for a bit, and that's how I wound up getting the followings I got on TikTok. And then I started going. I actually used the studio in Facebook, and
Yeah. I've always been a late adopter of the new technology, and I have a TikTok, but I've never ever once broadcast on it, and I only went to support a couple of my friends. I don't like actually go there, but it's probably late enough in the game that I could already start doing that.
that's my daughter's band out there.
Oh,
That's the link
cool.
to it. Casually, I think you'll really appreciate the music.
Yeah.
Um, she's an interesting character. She just, I mean, she's, we're estranged because of my mother, but I still just the same as, no matter my son may fucking killed somebody, but it doesn't mean that I didn't love him. And same with my daughter. She's she's basically a piece of shit to me, but still love her. She her my ex-wife, her mom, um, just didn't have an entertaining bone in her body, and she hated the fact that I was involved in entertainment. She just never, she wasn't about it. Oh fuck, did we lose you? There you go.
I'm back. I'm back. Yeah. I just like, I don't know what happened whenever I went over to YouTube to click the link to save it. Because that's the only way I can click the links whenever I'm in StreamYard. I have to go over to YouTube
That's
where
fine.
yeah, so and it just closed it out on me. But I'm probably
Well, as
gonna
long
do
as you got the link.
yeah, I got the links and I saved them so I can watch them. Both of the ones that you sent.
Cool. I'd
And
like
you
to
should
know what your opinion is
yeah,
on
and you
them. The
watch the
thrill,
one that I
the new thrill
sent.
kill cult, and my daughter. I really would love to have your opinion.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that my opinion will be great of that because I mean, I don't know. It just feels like I mean, other than maybe the new band, I don't know how I will feel
I
about
think you're gonna. Yeah, that's why I'm interested in hearing. Is you
daughter.
know,
I'm sure your daughter is wonderful. I can already feel the energy just from you talking about her.
yeah, she's an amazing artist, but
I love artists so much because I'm an artist.
yeah,
Sorry,
she's
getting happy.
amazing. It's just
Trying to.
once. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to stay dark and I can't do it. Trying to be polite.
Well,
Like so, I'm right happy right now. I don't know. Sorry.
my mother poisoned my daughter's mind,
Yeah. Well,
and
it's not
there's
it.
no
The truth
fixing
will
that.
always.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath for it, but don't write it off either because it's amazing. Um, I thought that people would never come back, uh, and they did, and it happens. Sometimes it happens that they come back and they don't believe the poison that has been fed to them for years. Sometimes you get
Well,
that
at this
redemption.
point, it would not be wise for her to be in my life or near me.
Yeah,
The only one that I will allow on any type of level outside of, you know, um, that I consider family, that understands and has been there through every step of my career as a handler, a manager,
your
a
stepdad.
surrogate dad, my
Yeah,
surrogate dad, and in the he's seen me in the most dark, vile fucking places a human could possibly be, and no
and I think
judgment, man.
hearing you talk about that is what really that's what shines through as like I can that made me want to stay around too because if you have that from someone, that says a lot about you.
Yeah, he says I'm the hardest son he ever had to love.
Yeah, well, and he still loves you, so yay.
Oh, unconditionally.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's what I want for everybody.
Yeah,
But
he actually he was the one that co-invested in the dungeon with me on Louisville and Main Street, and he was the first one to help me get my first two strip clubs. Those were side endeavors. You have to invest in something. I mean, if you plan on living
yeah,
off of just your fucking per diem and swag, you're not going to get very far.
well, and the fact that that probably wasn't his scene per se, but he was willing to support you in it, it says a lot about him too. That's a good man.
Yeah, he was very business fucking oriented. Could make money out of nowhere, and here I was, drug habit, fucking nice car, nice home, everything I could fucking want, and he was like, "You're gonna need some of that later on. Why don't you let me get a hold of Don Near and Don Wheeler and see what we can do?" And next thing I
Yeah,
know, man, I've got fucking 2 strip clubs. I had the dungeon before the strip club. I was like, "Fuck, man," and that's
it's a
some
lot of
money
money.
making shit.
It is money making, totally. I get it. I mean, I didn't ever make a lot of money at the strip club, but I made them a lot of money. But I could have made a lot
Yeah.
of, but I was not. I was kind of a good girl for a stripper. I mean, I'm a loyal type person, so I wasn't like a tramp, you know? I mean, sure, I dance and
Oh
stuff. I
hell,
was
we
very
had cameras on top of cameras on our bitches because I wasn't going to get fucking sued. I had good management though. I had a good manager in there.
good
My wife
balance.
took care of she took care of all the books, and that left me time to play in the dungeon and still go play music. So
I
it was
love
fun.
I played like the craziest music whenever I was dancing, and I had like two like themes, and one of them was the goth girl, and the other one was like this cool girl. Um, the two sides, the angel side, and the managers were so much fun. I worked at TD's in Albuquerque here, but not the North Club. It was like the It was not the best looking girls, not like the supermodel girls. It was like the fun girls. So
Oh, we had all kinds. I mean, we tried to filter them out, but it was damn near impossible. You'd always get a piece of trash in there somewhere.
yeah, there was a few of those, but they didn't last long.
Yeah.
Not in my
Luckily, my ex-wife, though, she was a good house mother. She could go back in the dressing room and they'd be 2 bitches at each other's throat, and somehow she would manage. They'd be fucking eh, sharing a fucking shot at the bar by the time my wife got through with them. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck she's doing, man, but I hope she keeps that shit up. Fucking
Yeah, see, and I guess I got lucky because whenever I first started working at TD's, I like fell in with the cook, DJ, part-time bouncer. Like he would do all three jobs sometimes. And
yeah.
everybody loved super charming. Um, and little did I know, the first night I got to Albuquerque, I hung out with his then girlfriend, and then I met him, and I was like Twitter pated, and then I found out he was dating my friend that I had just met. And I was like, oh
I'll
shit.
tell you the 3 clubs I owned in Louisville. Um, the first one was a sister club. The bottom club was called the Body Shop. The club we owned was the upstairs part of it, which was called the VIP Lounge, and that was all nude. And then we had Dancers East, which was connected to the Body Shop too, and
That is so
then there
weird
was
because,
one out on 7th Street that was called Teasers.
yeah. And see, I worked at the other strip clubs too in Albuquerque, but the like Knockouts is the only one that's still open. All the other ones closed during the lockdown, and none of them opened back up. But I think because it's downtown, that's why Knockout stayed open. That was the first one that I ever went to.
Teasers, last time I was in Louisville, Teasers was a husk of a building,
Yeah,
and it
that's
was Las Vegas style showgirl type club, and the VIP lounge was a private by invitation only lounge, but you could get into the Body Shop. It was VIP was by invitation only, and then Dancers East had been co-opted into the Body Shop too. So things
yeah.
changed, man.
The North Club, the TD's North instead of East, it was North, and North was uptown basically. It was fancier. girls, and I knew a lot of the girls there because they would come because it was funner to work where we worked. And I knew them also from traveling. They traveled to Foxtails in Flora Vista, which is the tiny little club that I first started working in. And Foxtails, that's
Cool.
funny. Those are those little stickers that get stuck in you, like because they're like grass seeds. And when you
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
called foxtails,
Yeah.
but yeah, they thought that was like they're foxy girls, and we're gonna see some tail, because they were like redneck. Sheriff, one of the old sheriffs of San Juan County, that started the. He did an adult store, and he ended up doing several of them, and then he opened up the strip club in the old restaurant. That was I forget what it was called, but I went to my senior prom at that restaurant, and then I ended up dancing there later. And now
Gotcha.
I worked in Albuquerque at this place called the Townhouse. It was a restaurant, and now it is the illicit drug market of Albuquerque, which for some reason is fine running.
Well, shit happens, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like everyone's energy gets anchored. It's like things like of ill repute sprout up, and I don't know why. It's like a little I'm pollinating it or something.
I used to run a couple features out of Louisville through a place here that was connected to the it was the ambassador, not the ambassador. It was the ambassador in Chicago. But there
I
was
like
only one strip
the
club
idea of
in Chicago,
gonna go to
and it was connected to a place called Stewie's here in Allen County. And I'd run girls from Louisville to Muncie, um, to Allen County, and then to Cook County. And Wes wound up blowing his fucking head off, man.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Put a
You
fucking
never
end to the whole thing.
Yeah. I never understood why people would want to hit the reset button anyways, because it seems like really silly. You don't know where you're going to start over next time. You might be born as a starving child in some third world country. It's never really that bad.
Hell, I'd run features through there, and then he would set up booking in Chicago, and always had a circuit, and there was always we'd take our premier girls out, the best
Yeah.
girls we had, and we would promote the club we had in Louisville with our featured entertainers. And one day the booking agent was like Wes blew his head off,
Hmm.
and I was like, because I knew Cherie, I knew Wes, um, I didn't know the son
I
very
knew a
well.
girl. She was from Kansas.
I
And
never
she had plantain
never liked
boobies.
Kansas.
Yeah, she had plantain shaped boobies, but a really nice ass.
Yeah, those are the girls. I mean, as long as they had a good firm body and they knew how to handle themselves, they were features. And we'd, give them 3 or 4 routines to go through, and
Oh yeah, I
they
had my own
they would
routines.
feature.
I mean, and it didn't matter if there was nobody there. I would still dance like it was a packed house because it was fun.
There you go, there you go. We were
I, dance is magic for me, so it was like I was working, but I was working.
I was doing a lot of extracurricular activity, and
Yeah.
whenever I could travel, we stayed in hotels and got to party at the strip clubs, do all the fucking extracurricular shit, and it was just like a vacation, man. It wasn't work. It was a fucking vacation.
A little bit of debauchery.
You know it. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah. I used to hang with a bunch of bikers, but I was not. It was funny because you hear the rumors, they like to pass around the girls and stuff. But if you assert yourself and you tell them to respect you, they won't do it.
Oh, there's always. I mean, that's a part of the
I
lifestyle, man.
I'm so
You got your
high.
house
You
whores.
slap the fuck out of them whenever they try and tell them, "Excuse me, I did not give you permission to grab my ass, sir." they just they respect you.
Nah, not in the clubs. I guess I
Yeah.
wasn't. Uh,
These
but
guys,
there was always house whores. You know,
yeah, there's
they
girls like,
they
but if you don't act like that, they don't treat you like that. It's not like a given. I think a lot of
they
people
were
miss.
they started out as ex girlfriends and hang arounds and
Yeah, until
just
they're and then they're like passed around. I know,
yeah,
but
they were
that wasn't the kind of girl I was. Not that I'm any better, but it's just like I'm not a multi person like that. Uh,
we'd always co-saddle girls when we had our bikes out and then take them back to the clubhouse and party. And some of them just stuck around.
yeah. Seeing, I've been on the back of many a bike, and the last one that I was on was that we went up to up I-40. No, it's I-25, up I-25 to Santa Fe, and we were driving like 140, 150 miles an hour on the bike, and he was mad because I wouldn't grab him and press my boobs up against his back. I just held on to it with my knees because my thighs are very strong, and so I just held on with my knees, and he kept trying to like, dart in and out of traffic. Scared me,
Ass,
so
gas, or grass. Nobody rides for free.
yeah, well, we didn't negotiate that beforehand, so that is not the case. That's the way it works with me. He got a little mad, but
Yeah,
I gave him a hug after, and I was glad that I didn't open my glasses because I almost lost my mask. That would have been his mercy, basically.
I just, I was just a hedonist. I mean, and I don't regret it.
Well, and I don't
I'm
regret
glad I've
any of
come through it without any diseases. That's
yeah,
what
it's
amazes me.
a big one. Yeah. And see, I got something once, but it was definitely something that the antibiotics could fix. Thankfully,
Right,
that
right.
wasn't
You
my
know,
fault. That was the person that I was with was cheating on me, actually. But
now I was, I was promiscuous as hell and hedonistic, but I had some sense, I guess, of safety, morality. Um, there were just certain bitches that, no, nah.
I
Pull your panties back up, put your pants on. I don't, none of that shit.
didn't have a lot of I didn't have a lot of like short-term relationships. I mean, there was a few, I guess, in between, but I'm a serial monogamist usually.
Well, it's like me getting back into the habit of, you know, I don't, I don't know if you know it. Or I go through about just a whiskey a day, and
Yeah, a lot. You definitely ease off of that a bit, probably because
no,
it's poison. You can't get if you're like you're not having like detox if you don't have it. Yeah, 'cause that's
no, I just started back up a
yeah.
couple of months ago, and
Just
but see, I was really, really sick. I had a full nursing team in here, 24 hours. I had a full-time nurse, and
yeah, I've actually seen it
I was on.
preserve you, like for quite a long time, and then you don't want to quit if that's the case, because the second you quit, that's when it's over. I've
Well, I
seen
was
that happen.
doped up on opioids, man. I was so doped up on opioids and benzoids from prescription that you know
That so
I
that's
didn't have no. There was no life. There was no music left in me. There was no life left in me. I didn't give a goddamn. And
yeah.
then I got dismissed after 20 years from my pain management for bad behavior. And
Yeah.
boy, when that hit, I hit the fucking, get me a fucking fifth of Makers, and I've had one every fucking day since then. And, you know,
Yeah.
my
It's good.
extracurricular, my
It's well
extracurricular.
done at least. So that's not so bad.
No,
And you just
I quit drinking on camera though.
yeah, you got to do that. I think that is unnecessary of a show, you know. 'Cause
Oh, I
I
didn't
think
do it for a show. I was just doing it on YouTube here,
yeah, well,
and
and I
then
think you're at that point because you're right now you're talking fine. You're not slurring. I would not nail you as intoxicated or inebriated excessively.
I think I got a third, maybe a third of a fifth of Makers here, and
Yeah,
another fifth over there. So
we'll see.
but
And
I
I'm drinking
just
it
cracked
too.
that bottle after we made all those phone calls today,
It's
and
a
I think
holiday.
I got about a third, about a third.
Yeah, I gotta go
So,
look outside and see if I can see the moon yet.
ain't no fucking holidays in my world, man.
It is a holiday for me.
Oh,
It's a pink moon. It
oh, I
started like
thought you meant like a fucking holiday, but like a pagan ass fucking common everyday holiday. That ain't no fucking
Passover
holiday.
too. It might be Passover too, but oh yeah, oh it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I gotta turn the camera on. Let's get it on. Hold on.
Yeah, well, I forgot to kill a pure lamb and throw its blood on my doorpost, so I guess I'm fucked.
Right there. That's the moon through the tree.
Nice, nice. Now you know the really nice woman that comes in chat that I
Oh,
always speak highly of.
Pam.
She took some recent video of the moon and the sunrise. She did the moon, the full moon, and the sunrise, and she just posted them. I tried to link them, but I I was involved in other shit today. But you might want to check those out. Jeez, oh my God, they were
I'm
beautiful.
on the roof. We'll have a better view. That's much better from up here.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And see, this is my neighborhood over here.
right.
Oh, yeah.
That's New Mexico.
Yes,
Ain't
it
no
is.
fucking doubt about that.
Yeah. And oh yeah, I hear the dogs. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
getting
see,
up.
I generally don't get up until the sun starts to go down. Then I go to bed when the sun starts to rise. But
I've been doing that the last few nights too. But I woke up. I fell asleep at a reasonable hour last night before the sun came up, and then I woke up uh, just a few hours later. So I actually kind of sort of reset my schedule, so it's kind of during the day again. But
well, I had to be up all day today. That was for damn sure. And
helicopter, I gotta flip him off. I think it's
there you go.
that's what I always do. They're probably just coming to say, "What's up? Why is she on a roof?" They're always following me around.
I think I got 2 hours sleep since I did that. Well, I was up before I did the live stream yesterday, but I've had about 2 hours sleep since then.
Yeah. Oh, it's getting really loud. Yep, gonna fly right over me. Tip 'em off.
Fuck 'em,
Yeah,
man. You didn't get me in a goddamn fucking no helicopter or plane anymore, man. Them motherfuckers have been dropping out of the fucking sky left and right.
I know. It's all the firings of all the people.
I don't know what it is, man, but at last count since the beginning of the year, we're at 87.
Yeah, I know. And they're still denying that it had anything to do with the cutbacks on the people
Oh,
working.
bullshit.
Yeah, I know, huh? It's stupid.
Bullshit.
My mom, they lost a lot of money on Deb's 401k. They were gonna go on a cruise, and they decided that they couldn't afford it because of all the tariff scare in the stock market. I was like, well, you picked him.
Well, you remember what I was saying about the motherfuckers taking over the indigenous people?
Yeah,
Well,
well, that's not gonna happen though.
you know, under this administration, all these motherfuckers are about to pray to a new god.
Well, I think that the tribes are gonna declare sovereignty, which would be awesome.
They can, but it doesn't matter about the Stargate infrastructure and AI controlling itself from its own power source away from the grid and using autonomous drones and DARPA dogs and surveillance, facial ID. Fuck all that, man. You know, really, fuck
Yeah,
you, fuck your new god, fuck all of you, man. You can all go straight to fucking hell. I've had enough of it, especially this goddamn social media shit.
yeah, it's all controlled ops.
Yeah, I'm just
And
not interested. I don't know if you'll get to see the diorama in my kitchen because I'm working in the second plane. I have the caverns of hell, the arena of hell, um, the graveyard, mortuary, the damned, and then the second tier is the uh, entrance from death, and then it's got a rainbow bridge that goes over to a higher plane. There's a video of that in yesterday's stream.
look at this guy. This is the littlest one.
Fuck, you can
Wait,
barely make a hamburger out of him.
I know. Look at that. There, he's good. He's a big puppy. He's getting big now.
I remember when you first got him
I know
on Jeff.
he was so tiny. Oh. Are you gonna growl? Are you gonna growl? I'm biting. He like usually growls and he makes the cutest little noise. He keeps biting my face. Biting my face. You're a bad boy. Thank you. Oh, can't believe how big he is now. He's the meanest one out of all of them too. He kicks the ass of the bigger ones. You could barely make a hamburger out of his butt. But
You
he's
know,
getting
Zypher,
him.
I think I'm gonna play a couple of songs, finish this
Yeah,
fucking bottle off, and
sweet. Yeah, I gotta go and I'll check out those videos.
yeah, I got a 3 o'clock. Well, by 3 o'clock in the morning, I got a summoning circle set up, and
Cool.
at least by what I consider midday, um, want to have it all lit up and the energy correct, so that I can make sure that my endeavors tomorrow are fruitful.
Good. Well, and I'll try and stop by tomorrow.
I appreciate it, Zypher, and please let me know about the bands,
Yeah,
TKK and my daughter, man. I'd really love to hear what you got to say.
for sure.
All right, Zypher, thanks for not bringing me up too far.
Okay. Well, thanks for tolerating my shininess.
It'll rub off real quick.
Okay. Well, love you. Bless you. Talk to you later.
Love
Say
you
goodbye.
too. You go in peace, all right?
You too.
my mind. He creeps up from behind. Then he takes control. He guides my mortal soul. Demons laugh and play. My soul is where they stay. It only takes two, the devil and you. Demons laughing, devils laughing, churches burning, Satan churning, bits of fire getting higher somewhere in my head. Thoughtless raping, killing, hating, lying, stealing, evils willing, fornicating, devils waiting somewhere in my head. The devil is in my mind. Look and you will find he jumped right in my soul. Now he has control. I do as he says. He dances in my head. It only takes two, the devil and you. Demons laughing, devils laughing, churches burning, Satan churning, bits of fire getting higher somewhere in my head. Thoughtless raping, killing, hating, lying, stealing, evils willing, fornicating, devils waiting somewhere in my head. Demons laughing, devils laughing, churches burning, Satan churning, bits of fire getting higher somewhere in my head. Thoughtless raping, killing, hating, lying, stealing, evils willing, fornicating, devils waiting somewhere in my head.
Poisoned by religion. Your mind is numb, your thoughts are cold. Poisoned by religion. By gods of new and gods of old. Poisoned by religion. A serpent spittle from days of old. Poisoned by religion. To which God did you sell your soul? Gods will come and gods will go. Poisoned by religion. That's the way they want you all. Poisoned by religion. Distorted truth won't save your soul. Poisoned by religion. Your life's deceived by strings of gold. Poisoned by religion. It's the end of time, so you've been told. gentleman and your soul. Gods will come and gods will go. Question what you can see. Question your reality. And in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God.
Suffer for all eternity? Suffer for all eternity? Still. Suffer for all eternity? Still. Still. Suffer for all eternity? Still. 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 Suffer for all eternity? Still. Kill. 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 better than he has those who are not. So he creates certain people knowing for sure they're going to eternal damnation.
Bruised in hell forever. Bruised in hell forever.
Tell me this, what happens to people God hates?
They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. They go to hell. Bruised in hell forever. Bruised in hell forever.
Conscious eternal torment in a literal fire.
Bruised in hell forever. 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 Bruised in hell forever.
Trembling with horror and throbbing with emotion. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror. Trembling with horror.
Welcome to hell.
All of my most sensitive areas were inflamed. My extremities pulsating with tingling sensation.
Welcome to hell.
Have we seen the actual reality of a monstrous crime? Or merely an illusion, the product of a tortured brain?
Welcome to hell. Welcome to hell.
Obsessed with the taste of flesh.
He was cruel and a sadist.
Swaying back and forth. A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip.
A beautiful thing taking me away.
No one had a bad trip. It was all very good.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
My head is spinning. My head is spinning. My head is spinning.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
My head is spinning. My head is spinning. My head is spinning.
Sucking the hallucinatory acid into the system.
No one had a bad trip.
Welcome to hell.
The mind of man rests on a delicate balance between reality, the world of light, and the other, darker world below the threshold of consciousness.
Welcome to hell. 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 Hell.
You. Do you know that? We're happy to have you with us tonight and hope you'll come back often.